Lesson 19. Abstinence. Muslims who are truthful in their Islam live their lives in a state of contentment with what Allah has provided for them. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned 3 characters connected to the character of a Muslim and swore an oath concerning them. He said, "There are 3 things about which I swear an oath, that the more forgiving a person becomes, the more he increases in nobility, that charity does not decrease a person's wealth, and that whenever someone opens up upon himself the door of asking from others, Allah opens for him the door of poverty." Let us focus on the 3rd thing, namely, a Muslim's abstinence concerning the property of others. Just as being generous with one's wealth, readiness to spend it, and preferring others over oneself are character traits of a believer, so too are abstinence concerning the property of others and contentment with what Allah has provided. Believers only seek wealth through ways which Allah has prescribed, such as trade, manufacturing, agriculture, and other means which are in accordance with the sacred law. They do not hanker after the wealth of others, and they never ask from people when they are capable of working and earning their living. If people beg, claiming poverty, while possessing provision for a day and a night, then what they receive from people is unlawful. It is only lawful for people to beg, claiming poverty, if they do not possess provision for a day and a night. If they are given what they need for that day, they must refrain from begging until the following day, when Allah will once again provide them with what they need. If Muslims show abstinence concerning the property of others, Allah will give them the means to achieve contentment. As the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Real wealth is not in the amount of goods one possesses. Real wealth is inner wealth," meaning contentment. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sought refuge with Allah from poverty. The scholars say that what he meant was not a lack of material possessions, but rather inner poverty, which keeps the one who is afflicted by it hankering after others' wealth, so that he lives in a state of poverty, even if he possesses the world and all that it contains. This kind of poverty causes a great deal of damage. Muslims must thus take the path of abstinence, spending their surplus wealth and guarding their tongues against excessive speech. When someone asked one of the great men of the past for advice, he said, "Keep your palm open and keep your jaw shut." In other words, spend freely from what you possess and guard your tongue against excessive speech, for the one who sticks to this advice will be considered by Allah as someone who remembers Him much and is grateful to Him. This is how the Muslim should be. To return to the hadith mentioned at the beginning of the lesson, the believer must look at the results of those actions about which the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam swore an oath. The first thing was that the more forgiving a person becomes, the more he increases in nobility. Whoever forgives the one who has harmed them, or foregoes a right which is due to them, will be ennobled. They will not be harmed or abased by forgiving others. Many people say that if you forgive someone and forego your right over them, you encourage them to take advantage of you, and people will scorn you and look down upon you. Mention to them what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in this hadith. Secondly, people say that if you spend your wealth in various charitable causes, your wealth will be reduced and your financial state weakened. Say to them, charity does not decrease a person's wealth. In fact, charity increases a person's wealth as long as it is given to those that deserve it. Thirdly, whenever someone opens up upon himself the door of asking from others, Allah opens for him the door of poverty. The more people ask, the more they increase in poverty. The hadith refers to those who ask for themselves, greedily coveting the wealth of others. They are the ones for whom Allah opens the door of poverty. Those who ask on behalf of the needy, encouraging the wealthy to spend for the common good to gain Allah's reward, are not those intended by this hadith. Muslims who are truthful in their Islam live their lives in a state of contentment with what Allah has provided for them, seeking their sustenance in that which Allah has prescribed and putting their trust in Him. They abstain from others' possessions, Pay no heed to them and do not covet them. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Whatever wealth comes to you without you seeking it, take it and use it if you are in need of it. Otherwise, give it away in charity. As for the wealth which comes to you as a result of your own effort, do not allow your heart to be attached to it." You should not be attached to the wealth which you have striven to earn. As for that which is given to you, the right way to deal with it is to not reject it, as long as it is from a legal source. If you are in need of it, you should take it, and if not, you should give it away in charity. May Allah make us people who are content with what they have, and make plentiful our inward and outward sustenance. Make our wealth be in our hands, so that we spend from it freely, and not in our hearts, so that we become attached to it. May Allah make us among those who spend from their wealth seeking His noble countenance. May Allah bestow His blessings upon our Master Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and upon his family and companions. All praise be to Allah, Lord of the worlds.